anytime you design a garden, you have to work with what you have. You know, if you have a slope, you have got to do terraces, whatever you got to do. And with this garden, these beds ended up being just about level where they sat. They're running east-west, which is not what you want. You want north-south, ideally, to get the full 360 wind with the sun. Regardless, this garden's going to produce a ton of crops. We had this crepe myrtle landscape here before, so we decided we're going to keep that. We'll probably end up putting figs right here, fig trees, some sort of bush, something like that. Yeah, so you have to work with the land you have. This is rocky soil. We'll have to pull a bunch of rocks, but we'll use the rocks for building projects. These are actually running north-south, and they are going to be draining to the south. This is all undulating terrain. This slope here goes towards the southeast. Right here you can see it just going pretty much pure south. So that's how we were able to level those beds. This doesn't look like a whole lot now. Give it a couple months, it's going to look amazing. The small ones,
you know, aren't bad.
It's these you got to worry about.
That's the bad stuff, but some of these rocks are actually okay for the garden. They're gravelly, you know, letting the water move around.
Yeah.
So at this point, we've got all the rocks picked out. We went over it one time, and I came through and kind of cleaned up the edges and shaped the beds like how they're going to be. Next, we'll probably power harrow the top of the beds to get them flat and plantable, and give it one more rake with the leaf rake. And after that, we'll just be adding mulch to the paths, eventually leaf mold mulch to the tops of the beds. So I've been gathering these longer branches with a rope. My rope has a loop in it. And I just put this together, pull it tight, and carry it up to right over there where we're gonna mulch. Right over here, I noticed this rotten log, cut into it, and this stuff is pretty rotten. I think I'll be able to run over a lot of this with the flail mower and shred it up, and then just rake up the pile and take that back up to the garden. This is a forest garden, but the nutrients are gonna be composed from wood mulch in the paths, forest duff like this, spent leaves, rotten leaves. So we're pulling all of our nutrients from the land, and it'll age. We add fertilizer when we plant, but we won't have to add compost this way. We've done it before, we've been successful. We're 10-year market growers, market gardeners. It's the way we do it. 10 years. When did I start market farming? Started market farming 2012. So it's been 13 years. Plus or minus. Good stuff. I want you to be on this flat ground, so pull forward and back. Okay. Down with this. Now, you gotta put the brake on. You gotta put the brake and that on. And then you gotta hold that down, hold this thing down, and push this forward.
Can I rev it up anymore?
You can rev it up afterwards. You gotta hold it down longer. Yeah, keep holding it down and then let it get going. Now see about taking it off. Alright, see how it stayed lit up? That means you can get out of the seat. If not, you get out of the seat and it dies. So now you can crank it up to about 17. We're about to get to shredding. I got this pile collected this morning. This is afternoon. Time to get it going.
Turned to chips.
The pile is now chips, and that was our, well, we couldn't chip over here. This is supposed to be a 3-inch chipper. It's kind of like a high volume 3-inch chipper. It's a Land Pride WC 1504. I like it a lot. I was thinking about running the flail mower through here now.
Well, we need to get that garden all set up because the rain's coming.
Rain's coming, so if we can find more to mulch, that's probably what we need to do. So we have some more brush where we've trimmed on the other side of the farm. Andrea's driving the tractor. I'm gonna ride my little unicycle, my veteran Sherman. This is a great around the farm use unicycle right here. Let's see if I can get it going with one arm. Just hop on and take right off. Our garden right here, we have to fill these paths. Grandpa's hard at work, and we got these paths started because it's gonna rain Tuesday. We're gonna go ahead and get as much of the paths mulched as we can. So the children were very excited about raking leaves until they got this big pile raked up. And then they were more excited about playing in the leaves, which is great. So these leaves, I imagine they've been sitting down here for multiple years. And we have the nicest soil right where all these leaves were. Tremendous. This soil fertility's gotta be great. Balanced nitrogen, everything. So this is what we're looking for our bed tops. I'm gonna get as much as I can raked up. I will eventually shred this and it'll make its way onto our forest garden. We had Nick over from the Leaf and Learn podcast, and it was his first time shredding leaves, first time running a BCS, and we had it done in a matter of minutes.
This is the shredded up leaf mold, leaf mulch, inoculating the soil with all the good microorganisms. These leaves have been breaking down for years.
Right, so we got periods of rain, periods of clouds. I want to go ahead and get these leaves onto the garden bed. I got them shredded up a couple days ago, and it's just been more of the same. I haven't filmed a bunch because we're shredding leaves and we're shredding branches and making mulch, and that's basically what we're doing for the garden. Andrea's got most of it planted. We had the problem with the broccoli. We'll talk about that. Yeah, I'm about to shoot this little time lapse, and I'm making where I can put the camera right here. My handy mount. Wow. Okay, so I didn't know if that would come loose or not. And sure enough, it did. I feel like I tried it with the bucket before I got the teeth, and maybe it was loosened up enough to finally come. Now what to do with that thing? I think I might get it from the other side and try to go put it on the burn pile. Wow, teeth coming in handy? I don't know. Was it the teeth? Was it my imagination? This thing is pretty rotted. Let's try to go get it on the pile.